Hi, everybody. My name is Nanika Edwards, and I am a poet, author, artist, and educator from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. In this video, I'd like to share with you a proverb, a Trini proverb, and you can see if you can figure out what it means. It goes like this. It is in Trini Creole English, or in dialect, as we say in Trinidad. And it goes like this: Corbeau Cyah eat sponge cake. Corbeau Cyah eat sponge cake. Corbeau Cyah eat sponge cake. Now, first of all, I guess you need to know what Corbeau and Cyah mean. I'm sure you know sponge cake and eat, right? You would know those two words. In Trinidad, we call vultures, the name for a vulture is a corbeau. It's from French. In French, un corbeau is a crow. But in Trinidad, we call vultures corbeau. And we don't pronounce it like the way that the French pronounce it. We pronounce it corbeau. Now, what do you think Corbeau Cyah eat sponge cake means? By the way, Cyah means can't. So if you translate this into standard English, then it would be vultures can't eat sponge cake. Do you think you can guess what this means? I'll give you some time. Well, this proverb is actually an echo of another proverb, which you may or may not have heard. And that proverb is, don't cast your pearls before swine. Don't cast your pearls before swine. Do you know what that proverb means? And does that help you make sense of Corbeau Cyah eat sponge cake? Or vultures can't eat sponge cake? But it doesn't sound quite the same in standard English. Not as dramatic. Well, let me help you a little bit. What do vultures normally eat? Right, they're carrion birds. They eat dead meat, right? They eat the carcasses of, they like animal carcasses, right? They like carcasses. They like dead meat. They like the meat of creatures that are already dead, right? Now, is sponge cake very different from that? Yes, it is. Sponge cake is very different. So, sponge cake, of course, is a finer thing than the meat of a carcass, right? Obviously. So, what is this saying? Basically, it's saying that we should not share with others things that are precious to us if we know that they are of the kind of character or personality that cannot appreciate those things. By the way, the saying, don't cast your pearls before swine, actually comes from the Bible and from this particular scripture reference that you can look up if you would like to. It's Matthew 7:6. I would encourage you to look it up. I'm trying to keep the video as short as possible, so I'm not going to quote the exact reference, but it's from Matthew 7:6. You can look for a translation that's easy to understand, like the New King James Version or the NIV or the NLT, as opposed to the King James Version, which which has English that's a lot older. And if you don't have a Bible, you can go on Google and look for Bible Gateway and look up the passage, Bible Gateway. You can look up the passage there, or you can download a Bible app to your phone, like a Bible app like YouVersion, for example. They have tons of different Bibles. They have tons of different Bibles in different languages, just like Bible Gateway. And part of the reason why I'm not just giving you the scripture reference is because I'd like to encourage you to go check out the Bible for yourself, okay? So, anyway, when we say don't cast pearls before swine, what we mean is it's the same thing as with the vultures or with the corbeau. Swine or pigs cannot appreciate the finer things in life. What do we associate with swine? We associate mud. We associate, food that's kind of, not very palatable or appealing. Although I don't think swine necessarily like mud. In actuality, they tend to be very clean animals. But swine, when even the word swine, just suggests either a creature or an animal that has a coarse kind of character, like they cannot appreciate the finer things in life. So, when we say Corbeau Cyah eat sponge cake, what we mean is just like the swine would not be interested in pearls, Corbeaus would not be interested in sponge cake, right? They prefer things that are not as valuable because they don't have a good character. That's a kind of implication. And of course, we don't mean literal birds or literal swine. The corbeau, the vulture, and the swine or the pig, they represent people. So, for example, you might have something that's very very precious to you. It could be a thing, it could be a thought. For example, it might be a dream, something that you really want to do. You've been thinking about it for a long time, and then just you decide, okay, I'm not going to keep it a secret anymore. Let's say you've been keeping it a secret and you decide that you're just going to share it with somebody to see what they think. You don't want to share that valuable information with somebody who does not who would, for example, maybe try to tell you that it's a stupid idea, or who may even be jealous of you, who may not appreciate your dreams, or may not appreciate the things that mean something to you, who may not value it in the same way. And if they're envious of you, if you share something that's precious to you with them, it could make them, it could even kind of invite further hostility and enmity. They may become even more of an enemy and try to do things to prevent you from realizing your dreams, or they may try to discourage you, or they may just even if you don't listen to them, if they tell you something discouraging, they might tell you something that just devalues the thing that you value, and that just will leave a very heavy feeling in your heart. So if you know that somebody has a vulture mentality or a swine mentality and they don't appreciate the finer things in life, they don't have good character, they're just not very nice people, then don't share something that means a lot to you with them. Now, of course, in actual reality, sometimes we don't know that people are actually vultures or swine, metaphorically speaking. If we speak about these things in metaphorical terms, like metaphors, using these animals as pictures of people, sometimes we may not know that people really are vultures or swine until we share something with them. And in that case, once we realize who they are, then we have to take note, make a mental note, and make sure that we don't share anything with them again. And, sometimes you could just take your time, observe people, look at how they interact with others, look at how they interact with you, listen to the things that they say, and try to get an idea of if they are the kind of person that you should share something that is precious to you with, right? So don't be too hasty to share your pearls or your sponge cake, metaphorically speaking, with people, with any and everybody, right? If something, if you have pearls, if you have, I don't know, diamonds, rubies, precious stones, precious gems, you have a little jewel box with these things in them, They're so precious that you wouldn't just share them with any and everybody. Any and everybody would be like the vultures and the swine, okay? So you want to share them with people who are of good moral character, people who understand the difference between right and wrong, and people who value you as a person. So I hope this is helpful. I hope that you can take this with you now and further down the road as you get older and mature and so on. I hope that you'll always remember this. And remember, don't cast your pearls before swine. And remember that Corbeau Cyah eat sponge cake. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, thank you for giving it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more like it, please subscribe. Until next time.